Welcome to Gallery Guichard Virtually and Virtual Exhibit Catalog number 31. We have a great show in store for you. For those of you who remember Twin on 35th and King Drive, you're here for the first opportunity to see a body of work by Jerry Lynn and his new journey in his art practice as a solo artist without his twin brother.
Yes, and Jerry already sold 3 pieces.
That's right.
And the show hasn't even opened yet. And when you walk into the room, it was like, oh my God, the work is so amazing. The colors, the history, the information. I can't wait to talk to Jerry.
It's so moving, so sit back, relax, and get ready for an amazing conversation about the inspiration in this amazing body of work.
So how you been, man? It's been about 14 plus years since we exhibited your work over at 35th Street.
And you still look the same.
You're right.
Hopefully better. No, I've been good. I appreciate you guys for having this show, this exhibition. I'm excited to come to Chicago again, to be part of such I think a groundbreaking exhibition about my artwork and about my life. So overall, I've been good. I've been painting. I live in Dallas, Texas. I don't know, the last time we talked, we were I don't know if I was here or not, but I live in Dallas, Texas. I've been here about 10 years and life has been good. I'm a full-time artist, practicing, creating, experimenting, what the whole art life is about. So I'm just living that life and enjoying every moment of it.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And what a blessing to be living your passion professionally. And, I personally have always enjoyed your work because I think it speaks to the nostalgia of the South, which most people from Chicago are just an extension of the South. I'm Louisiana, and there's so many Mississippi, Alabama. So I'd like to just start off with, what is the inspiration of most of your work?
Thank you for asking that question, because you kind of touched on a couple of points. Chicago and Memphis, where I'm from, the Deep South, like you said, it's a direct pipeline. People migrated from the deep South, which is below Memphis, Mississippi, Louisiana. They came up 55 through Memphis, through Chicago, and on to, I guess, Detroit, so to speak. That was all part of the migration of our people. And my art speaks on parts of my art speaks on that migration. It speaks on our people growing and striving to do better. Lately, the work that I've been working on is all about the positive aspects of our people, and I guess you can say the struggle, but it's just our story, so to speak. My art is about the story of our people, the good and bad, but it's just our story. We persevere. We are people. We're hardworking as a race. We are lively. We're colorful. We are entrepreneurial. We've been doing that since the beginning of time, and really nothing. I don't think nothing can stop us as a race, as a people. And I want to document that. I want to portray that. And I just want to put my spin on it. I just want to kind of put a positive spin on that story of our people. People different artists have their own interpretations of what our story is, but I just want to put kind of my twist on it.
But thank you for capturing that history, because we are amazing people. I'd like to know, what is the genesis of your title, Genesis?
Well, Genesis is basically a title that I guess you could say is kind of a rebirth, so to speak, which once again kind of ties into a lot of my work that's going to be in the exhibition. But it's just kind of I won't say a coming out party, but it's just kind of an announcement that says that Jerry is here. Jerry Lynn has arrived. And I just want people to see the whole essence of what my art is about, what I've been creating all these years. And that's pretty much it, without kind of going too deep into the title, but I want to say it's self-explanatory, but in a way it is. It's the beginning, but it's kind of a fresh start for myself as an artist. I've been a practicing artist for years, in different aspects of art creation. I worked with my twin brother. We collaborated on paintings, and we did that for years. And as of late, the past 2 or 3 years, well, I guess it's longer than that now, I've kind of been on my exploration of showing what I do. And that's what the show is about. Really, this is the first solo exhibition I've had as Jerry Lynn. So this is groundbreaking. I'm very humble, thankful, and grateful for this opportunity. I can't say that enough. That, like I said, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of I guess you could say, a new era of my artwork, my career.
The work is incredible too.
It is, which leads me to my next question, which is two-part: the mediums you work in, and then your palette. As I look around in the gallery, is this new show, it's so uplifting. And as I, focus on the subject, I have to say the palette makes me happy, no matter what the subject is. So you could expound on the medium and the palette a bit.
I think that's another good point. You're picking up some good points. Happy, positive, uplifting, progressive are all kind of terms that I think fits my new body of work, and especially the paintings that you guys have in this exhibition. When my daughter was born about 16 years ago, that was a pivotal moment. I can't even say kinda, because it was a pivotal moment in my career as an artist and as a person, as a father. I started thinking, what would she see? What would she see in the future if she was to kind of look at my work? What would she be kind of thinking about? And I started painting images. I started formulating ideas that would, in a way, make her proud. And that was kind of the genesis of this new body of work. I wanted work that would be that would make her proud. When I was coming up, and even to this day, when you see images of young Black people, women, men, it's a lot of negativity that's spread on social media, through the news outlets. And I just kind of wanted to have a counterbalance to kind of offset some of those negative images that you see out there, especially for my daughter, and eventually my son was born a few years later. I wanted images that they would be inspired by, images that they could look at and just feel empowered. Because like I said before, we have it. We as a race, as a people, we're it. But sometimes we need to be reminded. We need to see images of ourselves, because for some reason, there's people that want to. I won't say people, but images are out there that kind of counteracts who we are. We're beautiful. We're powerful. We're, like I said, we're all that in a bag of chips. So I wanted to portray that.
And your work shows that, I love the iconic figures that you're representing here. You have a couple of them I wanted to ask you about. We know you have Harriet Tubman, but we all know that. But one behind us here with the girl with the power fist, and give us a little history on that one.
Well, speaking of my daughter, that painting is inspired by my daughter. That's the image of her. A lot of the paintings that I create are based on my daughter, so that's her. And I kind of I forgot the name of it. I hate that you even asked that question, because that's an iconic painting. that you,
40s when the women went to
right,
war.
what, I forgot what that's called, but it's an image. So that's what it was, that was inspired by. But
When
I twisted it
the
in.
women didn't go to war,
What was
right?
that?
They didn't go to war. They stayed home and worked while the
Right,
men went to war.
They
right,
filled in.
right.
That was amazing. So one of my favorites I was going to ask about is one entitled At Last. And it's a very large, oversized piece, which, by the way, is one of 3 pieces that pre-sold before the opening. So congratulations.
Yes.
But I am very moved by how warm it is, but yet, just curious as to the inspiration of that piece.
At Last is a painting that comes right back to my hometown roots of Memphis, Tennessee, and directly to Chicago. In Memphis, we're known as home of the blues, the birthplace, kind of a rock and roll, the cradle of that music kind of culture is in Memphis. And when I was starting my art career, Beale Street, that was the first gallery that was showing our work. There was an art gallery on Beale Street called Justine's Gallery. And as soon as you walked out of the doors of the gallery, you couldn't help to just hear just the music, the live bands, and all the blues clubs up and down the street. So a lot of the earlier work that I did was inspired by music, but I kept that in my heart as I continued to work, and I always it just kind of pulls at me. A lot of people paint musical pieces, but those musical pieces that I paint are true to my soul. And I want people to feel the rhythms, the music that I felt when I listened to those that music in the air, down in Memphis, Tennessee. And like I said, I kind of bring it right back to Chicago, because Chicago has a rich musical jazz blues background too. So I think it just kind of, those 2 cities, Memphis and Chicago, it has a lot of culture, a lot of history of famous musicians, and I just wanted to embody that feeling. I keep saying the word feeling because that's what my art, I want people to kind of feel it. I mean, I strive to make beautiful paintings, but at the same time, I want you to feel these paintings. And that's a perfect painting that I think just kind of captures that feeling, the imagery. It just kind of marries all of that together to make a beautiful piece. I'm very happy that how that painting came out, and I'm more than happy that it sold. So I'm thankful for you guys for that's very good news.
And it's a great story too. They're going to love that as well. And you mentioned children being able to resonate with your work. So many young people are going to take, the information that you provide and just the vision of the pieces and be able to, kind of be able to learn more about history and learn more about themselves through your artwork. And I look at the flowers that you have in your pieces, and I know that you've incorporated them in most of your works. Can you tell me why, and why you do it the way you do it? Because sometimes, like, we see the flower that is coming out of the piece with Harriet Tubman, just one flower there that kind of is blossomed where the others have not. Tell us a little bit about your flower story.
Well, that particular flower is based off of Mississippi. I think if I'm not mistaken, the magnolia is Mississippi's state flower. And I just wanted to put a kind of a symbolism of where Harriet might have kind of went through the Underground Railroad, where she was bringing these our people just struggling to bring our people to freedom. And that was just kind of a nod to the deep South that she had to go through. And that's just a kind of a symbol of that deep South, in particular Mississippi. But in general, I put a lot of different elements. Flowers is one of those things. And in a lot of the paintings that you might see, I might pick African flowers. I might pick, like I said, a flower from Mississippi in this particular case, but a lot of the times they're African flowers. In a lot of the paintings that I do, I research African different flowers from our homeland in Africa. And I just kind of want to put a little hint of where we're from in the paintings, just to kind of give another layer to the imagery.
I love it. And I have a question, but I do want to just coattail and follow up on what you just spoke to about the flower, because it also kind of reminds me of the resilience of African people, whereas no matter what situation you put us in, you'll see a flower come out of the concrete.
Right.
Or,
Right.
So it's wonderful how that dialogue is created. But my question that I have also is about your mediums that you use, and then a particular process that I've enjoyed as part of your fingerprint that repeats itself with the dripping of the paint. And I wasn't sure if it was you or your brother, but now that I see your whole body and I see that repeated, I know that's your fingerprint. So I know about the medium and of course how you use that in your process.
Man, that's deep. You bring us some good questions. The dripping, I don't know. I guess you could say the drips in itself is just I can't say it's just an art thing. It's an arty thing that I want to do, but it's something that it just kind of comes natural to the painting. A lot of people probably would think of having a lot of drips in the paintings as being unfinished, kind of having an unfinished look, but I kind of use it to, just like I said before, it's kind of a layering. I layer one drip on top of the other, I let that dry, I might come back with another type layer of color, and what falls just falls. The paint just kind of runs down the canvas and I just let it be. Once again, part of painting, my process is the emotions, the feeling. A lot of times I'm playing a lot of different types of music, gospel, R&B, playing a little rap here and there, but all of that feeling, those are the drips that I'm feeling, and it's just kind of flowing into the canvas. I can't really say it's a particular reason or why I do it, but it's definitely part of the process. So I think it's very important. But something that's kind of
abstract flavor to realism, which really kind of, it captures what you're expressing: emotion, time, movement, so many things that I couldn't express until you just kind of spoke to it as it's happening, because it sounds
I would say,
Right.
And I think it gives my painting more of a kind of contemporary feel. So I'm always striving to push the envelope, and the drips is just one way of kind of just giving you just a little edge of contemporariness into the painting without it being so tight, super tight, whereas I don't know, where sometimes you can kind of, for me, you can kind of lose a painting if it gets too rigid, too tight. So the drips just kind of puts me right in the right spot to just still keep creating, but without the painting just kind of getting away from me. When I say get away from me, it's too tight. I always kind of want to leave a little mystery, a little feel of ambiguity that you can just kind of look through it and just kind of feel sometimes you just kind of feel your way through the painting.
I like
Yes. It actually is like really cool because it draws me into the painting. It makes me want to go over and look even further because it's like you can feel the depth of it. Just amazing. And just speaking of amazing, I see you've got a painting behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on?
Well, actually, this is a painting that's already complete. It's kind of like a little test type print, but this is a image that I created actually right during the pandemic, right during the whole part of George Floyd and that whole aftermath of 2020. I was inspired to create a painting that I just, we were all in the house. Everybody across the country was just kind of seeing what was unraveling in all different aspects, from our health to what was happening in the streets with our people. And I think it was just it was a time that I think a lot of artists were just kind of creating paintings and expressing themselves in different ways to just kind of show how they felt during that time. And that's what this painting is all about. We just kind of, you got the protesters and the Black Lives Matter figure right there. But then it kind of goes, like I said before, my painting is always about history. So I don't know if you see it, but it kind of goes into kind of historical moments, like where we came from during the civil rights movement, all the way down to cotton fields right here at the bottom.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. And this is my son, by the way.
Oh, wow. It looked like you, like from the side view, sideways, it looked like you too. That's awesome.
Tell him he's got to do all his homework because you've immortalized him.
You're right.
So, Jerry, what would you say in closing, for me at least, what you want people to get from your art after they see this exhibit? What is it that your long-term goal is to accomplish through your art?
Well, my art, I want people to know me as a father, as a person who's always striving to do my best to give back. I didn't mention earlier, you were talking about, seemed like education came up. I was a teacher before my art career, full-time art career. I taught in Dallas and Memphis for about 10 years, kind of doing my transitional period between my brother and I collaborating and me doing my own thing. But I was an art teacher, and that was a very, that experience was something that I thought I was prepared for, but it was something that taught me that we have a generation of people, young people that need us. And I was humbled to be in that situation of teaching. It brought me to a place where not only I realized my calling, because it ended up being my calling. Teaching, I didn't realize was something that I had in me, but it ended up being my calling because I was teaching elementary kids at that versus high school or any other age group. And I realized that, man, like I said, they need us. And I just felt I belong there. And even though I'm not teaching now in the classroom, I feel like my art is still a part of me giving back. I'm planning on opening a nonprofit that's going to still encompass my teaching aspect of my career. But I just want people to realize that or see that the work is me. It's from the heart. It's true. It's all about just giving back, trying to spread positivity and light. That's what I'm about.
That's
Wow.
Awesome. Each one teach one, and it actually ripples.
That's so true.
Right.
And I just feel really honored and privileged to be here to have a conversation and
Likewise.
and share your journey. And
we appreciate it.
The process and creativity.
Our viewers appreciate it.
Exactly. And I will say to our viewers, you may not realize it because we live in a world of everything's available, but this is a very special show. It's the first of its kind, meaning Jerry's Genesis. And already 3 of these works have sold, and everything is available except the ones with the red dot. So see art, love art, buy art, live with original art.
And you can see more of Jerry's work on our website at www.galleryguichard.com.
That was amazing. Now I see why 4 pieces have sold before the show even opens.
Yes, and you know the conversation with Jerry is just really right on point. And it's so good to see him again. We hadn't seen him in so long, and he still looks fantastic and doing amazing things with his artwork. And I feel as though this is going to be a spectacular, show for him. He's going to sell out.
And I just loved how some of the pieces were inspired, like the one behind me by his daughter.
Yes.
And that strength that you feel. So again, study long, study wrong. Don't forget these works are available. There's only one, and you can reach them and get up close and personal on the virtual exhibit catalog number 31. You can drop right in. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Drop in, use the circles to move around, and then you can touch the matter tag below each of the paintings to find out about the title, medium, and price, as well as starting your own conversation with the work and enjoying this amazing exhibit. And take advantage of this entire summer of the Gallery Guichard solo series. We'll be showcasing a solo artist and a body of work so you can learn more, and you have the opportunity to see art, love art, buy art, live with original art. Thank you, and see you next time.
See you next time.